Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Kutlana, also known as Ngoepe. Thank you for listening in. Today I'm just doing a recap of 2022 and the lessons that I've learned in 2022. Now these lessons are not necessarily just lessons I learned in 2022, but lessons accumulated throughout my adult life. So let's get right into it. Number one, life can be challenging, but see the great in life because life can be great. As much as it's challenging and it has its own challenges, but there is always good in life. There is always a brighter side. There is always something that is amazing about your life. So don't always look at the negative and look at the challenges, but also remember that life can be great and life is great. Number two, it is not your responsibility to make people happy. I learned this. It is not my responsibility to make people happy. And actually, I have to remind myself every morning because, I'm that type of person that draws and keeps other people's emotions. So when someone is sad, I actually feel that sad with them. When someone is anxious, I actually feel that anxious with them. Um, you can Google the science behind that and different types of personalities that actually possess such traits, but I'm that type of person. So I have to always remind myself and remember that I'm not responsible for people's happiness. Like, it's okay. Like, when someone is feeling sad, I don't have to work so hard to make them happy. Like, I'm not saying be nasty and just forget about people and not care how they are feeling, but it is not my responsibility, and I should accept it and accept my limits to where I can actually take the people, take them. So it is not my responsibility to make people happy. It is not your responsibility to make people happy. Something of a follow up to number two is that people are not responsible for my happiness. People, like, I cannot expect happiness from other people or external sources. Like, happiness does not come from someone else. Happiness does not come from anything else. Happiness is actually something that you have to work on, that you have to accept. Joy comes from God, and you can't expect people to give you joy. You can't expect people to give you happiness. So that is the third lesson that I learned throughout my life and in 2022, that people are not responsible for my own happiness, just as I'm not responsible for their happiness. So that is number three. The fourth one is that hobbies are important. Like, have a hobby, especially if you are someone who overthinks or someone who thinks a lot. I am the type of person, again, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm learning, this is what I've learned. So I'm the type of person that overthinks things, that overanalyze stuff. So if something happens or someone says something to me, I tend to actually analyze what the intention of this person are. Like, if this person is saying this to me, why is this person saying this to me? For what is the person's intention? If I say yes to this thing, what am I gonna do? How is this gonna affect me? I'm that type of person. So getting a hobby actually releases all those questions and all this fuss that is going on in my head. So getting a hobby is important. And I always tell you guys, like, I love reading. Like, reading is an escape for me. But in 2023, I actually want to have a different type of hobby, something physical, something I can do with my hands, or something I can go out and actually do. Not that I'm leaving reading alone. Like, reading has become a lifestyle now. So I'm actually intending on getting another hobby, or a hobby, because reading is not necessarily a hobby for me, but I'm intending on getting a hobby that is more physical, that needs more of, like, going out and meeting new people, because I need friends, guys. I need to make new friends. So that is number four. The next lesson I learned is that have those uncomfortable conversations right there and there, or as soon as possible. Now this one, I am still working on it. I don't want to lie to you guys. I'm still working on it, and so far, I'm adjusting to doing that. I'm actually getting myself to say, you know what, this is a very serious conversation. This is a very serious topic that I need to discuss with so and so, and I actually call that person. Let us sit down. Like, I'm even shying away from text messages and WhatsApp messages to actually meet this person face to face and discuss whatever uncomfortable conversation we need to have. We have in that conversation, because the longer you keep this thing, the longer you're going to overthink it. Like I said, I overthink stuff. So if I'm not talking it and releasing it out of my system as soon as possible, this thing is going to go on in my head, go on, and until it's actually discussed, because I'm a little stubborn, so I don't let things go very easily. I know it's not so Christian. I forgive. Forgiveness is actually something I'm proud to say God has given me the ability and the wisdom to actually do. Like, I forgive easily, but I don't let things go. So that is something that I'm learning, that have those conversations. I need to have those conversations, as uncomfortable as they may seem. I need to have them. I can't keep them packed in my system, packed in my mind for a long time. So that is the next point. Now, this last point, ask for help when you need help. Ask for help when you need help. Like, I'm that type of person. I like doing things myself. So I I don't depend on people that much. It's challenging, especially when you are now in a relationship. So there's times where you need to really rely on someone else or ask someone else for help. Like, if God intended us to live alone and not need other people, I pretty much think He would have given us each and everyone an island. Like, everyone would be living in their own island. But because that was not God's intention, and that is not God's intention, we are living with other people. We are living around communities. There's church communities. There's people in your village. Even in the rural areas, there's a neighbor. Even if it's 10 kilometers away from you, there's always a neighbor, because we are meant to live in a community, and it is supposed to be that way, that you depend on someone else for something. You depend on someone else for something. Now, that is a challenge for me. I'm working on it. And I'm not saying it's gonna work. 2023, I'll be a changed person. It'll be easy for me to ask for help. But that is something that I'm consciously working on. Consciously, when I feel like, okay, this is a bit too much, this I don't know how to do, let me ask for help. Let me go to the next person who knows better to ask that person for help. So that is our points. Those are my points. Those are things that I've learned. That is not all things that I've learned, but in the interest of time and in the interest of not boring you guys, those are some of the things that I've learned in 2022 that I've worked consciously on. I worked consciously on in 2022. Hence, this is a recap. So I'd like to hear what you have learned in 2022. What do you have learned throughout your life, your adult life, or whatever great lessons that you think you have and you learned. I'd like to hear them. Leave that in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening in. Thank you for giving this recap. See you in 2023. This is the last video in 2022. So see you in 2023. I hope you have a wonderful year, a prosperous year, and I pray God give you wisdom, give you strength to look into 2023 and actually have the enthusiasm and have the energy and have the joy and happiness to actually face 2023, because I have a great feeling that God is about to do something exceedingly abundantly above what we all imagine, and He is able to do it. He's able to do it. Whatever you couldn't do throughout the years, trust God that He will do it for you in 2023. So, thank you so much for listening in. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, because this video might be useful for someone else. Thank you. See you in the next one in 2023.